That's it. My last class. Wait. Classes are over. That means I finally start doing my reviews again. Okay. Now this ought to be a good one. Mad Max. Yeah. Check it out.
So, for those of you that didn't know, Mad Max was a 1979 action film that starred Mel Gibson. The movie takes place in a dystopian future where ruthless gangs fight over simple things like water and fuel. The film was a major success, quickly becoming a cult classic and spawning a number of sequels. And there's even a new one in the works right now.
You see this? That's because it pretty much launched Mel Gibson's career. Yeah. Let's hope the game's as good as the movie.
So the first thing you see when you turn the game on is this big wall of text. It's just the general premise of Mad Max, which I've already explained, so we could just skip over that. After that, you just select Begin Road War 1 and the game starts. So at first glance, the graphics may seem a bit bland and ugly, but it's actually portraying the film setting pretty well. The first time playing, you're not really sure what you're supposed to do, so you just drive around without any real knowledge of what you're doing, using dynamite to get through barriers and to destroy enemy vehicles. But the driving is actually okay, so that's fine. One thing I find interesting is that you simply press the D-pad in whatever direction you want to drive and the car goes in that direction. In most driving games, you would use left and right on the D-pad to steer, and then press up or A to accelerate. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing, I just think it's interesting that they made the car drive this way. One thing that is annoying about the driving is the enemies and obstacles. As you drive around, you'll encounter enemy cars that try to run you off the road, enemy towers that look like they're made out of tires that throw dynamite at you, and these annoying oil spills. Every time you drive over them, you fly in the opposite direction you're trying to go. I mean, I know it's a video game and you're supposed to have enemies, but you can't drive for a few seconds without dynamite being thrown at you or some asshole trying to run you off the road. It's hard enough when you're trying to figure out what the hell you're supposed to do in the first place. But as long as you avoid the enemies as best as you can, you have all the time in the world to just explore and... Oh, you could run out of gas. Yeah. I guess now would be a good time to introduce the inventory. So here's your inventory menu. You got ammo, health, dynamite, damage, fuel, food, what? God damn. Jesus, what is this, the NES version of Fallout? So, for a while, the game is going to mainly consist of you driving around until you either run out of gas or get killed. Then the game restarts and you do it all over again. And again. And again. There is actually a store in the game, but you can only really afford maybe one can of gas or a very minor health upgrade on your car. You're not getting much help here, and for the life of me, I couldn't really figure out what my currency was anyway. It wasn't indicated on the inventory screen. Then later, I realized that your food and water is your currency. Why are they two different categories then? That's unnecessary. And this revelation didn't really help me anyway. It seems like I've searched nearly every inch of this deserted wasteland and I haven't seen any food or water anywhere. Just more assholes trying to kill me. How the hell am I supposed to buy more stuff? In fact, when I noticed this option in the store called Arena Pass, I got excited for a second. I thought, hey, I finally figured out the goal here. Go to the arena. But look, it costs 7 food water. I've got 2. And I'm not finding any more. Guess I gotta just keep searching. Whoa, hang on. Whoa, I think I found an enemy base. So on this part, you're actually on foot, and you gotta use a gun. Wow, a change of pace, thank God. And guess what? You actually get to find food and water, and gas, and health, and health, everything. The only thing I find stupid are these 2 rooms down here. This one you open with the key to find another key, and this other one you open with the key to find nothing. What was the point of that? Well, anyway, once you've cleaned the place out, you've got enough money to buy that arena pass. But good luck finding that arena, cause at this point, your already scarce amount of fuel is running low. You're bound to run out of gas, and then you gotta start all over again. So here's my strategy. After you go to the enemy base and get as much food and water as you can, just spend it all on gas, and then search around everywhere for whatever might be an arena. Unfortunately, this plan wasn't as genius as I had first thought. The whole wasteland just looks like the same landscape repeating itself over and over again. It's hard to tell where I've been and where I haven't. In fact, I don't even know what the arena is supposed to look like, so I'm not even sure what I'm looking for. There's this area up here I don't think I've been to, but oh, damn it. Okay, I know I can make it. Is that it? I think I found it. Yes. Okay, let's do this again. Okay, come on, yes! Okay, I did it. I made it to the arena. It's sort of surreal finally seeing some kind of cutscene. So once you make it to the arena, you have to battle like 30 other cars, I guess, and just an all-out demolition derby type thing. Of course, by that I mean you just sort of sit there while other cars drive into pits and die. If you happen to fall in a pit yourself, it's okay, cause hey, guess what? You actually get lives this time. So you just wait for the final cars to fall into the pit, and then you find the exit. Ooh, finally did it. Man, I wonder what's next. What happened here, guys? It looks like someone spilled Kool-Aid in the game cartridge. I mean, the colors on the first level, while sort of bland, at least resembled the movies. This is just a pink nightmare. And what am I doing now? Ugh, another arena pass? I gotta do this crap all over again? Ugh. Oh, nope. Just ran out of dynamite. Ugh. I'm not doing this again. So, Mad Max for NES.
The idea of a Mad Max game is actually really cool and it has potential, but this game has too much restrictions and vagueness to really be good. If it was a little less vague and kept those restrictions, or if it was more lenient and still kept the vagueness, it would be fine, but it's just too much. It's not the hardest game I've played or anything, but I just don't feel like pouring my time into it when I'm not really having that much fun. To be honest, I think I'd rather just watch the movie. You ever sometimes think of a game you used to play as a kid? Not anything popular or well-known like Zelda or Mario, but just one of those random games that you used to own? One that you probably played a million times as a kid, but only vaguely remember now? Well, I just got one of those games in the mail today. Cutthroat Island for Super Nintendo. I haven't seen this game in years. It's time to relive some memories.
So, Cutthroat Island was apparently based off of some comedy action movie that came out in the 90s, but since I've never seen the movie, I can't really use it as a point of reference. Is that Francis from Malcolm in the Middle? Huh. Plus, the film did terrible. At one point being listed on the Guinness Book of World Records as being the biggest box office flop of all time. Yeah, we're gonna have to rely on the game to tell us the story. So our story begins in 1688, an age when pirates sailed under a black banner bearing a skull and crossbones.
Sounds good so far.
The most dangerous pirate of all, Dog Brown.
Wait, what? Dog Brown? Seriously? That's what his name is? That doesn't sound like a pirate name at all. No.
Okay, I'm just gonna overlook that. Where were we? So apparently there's these 3 map pieces that everyone's looking for that lead to this place called Cutthroat Island. Yeah, that sounds like a great place to go. Morgan Adams, the notorious lady pirate, was given a piece of this map by her dying father. Dog will stop it.
Okay, I just can't take that name seriously. Let's just get to the game.
So, you choose between 2 characters and the game begins. On the first level, you're trying to escape from a prison. The cartoony graphics actually don't look too bad. It almost reminds me of Out of This World, although that's being a little generous. Along with your standard attacks, there's also some weapons that you could pick up. Well, one weapon anyway, this knife that you find at the start of the level. It seems simple enough, but how you use it's actually a little odd. It all depends on a certain option that you chose at the start of the game, if you chose it at all. You see, where most games might give you the option to change the difficulty level or maybe some of the controls, Cutthroat Island only has one option. It's not even an option menu. It might as well just say fighting style, but that's not even true either because it doesn't even really change your fighting style that much. All it does is when you pick up that one knife and you hit the button, it's either going to make you throw it or stab someone depending on which fighting style you chose. It literally doesn't change anything else in the game that I know of. Well, anyway, I usually go with the brawling style because that way I can throw the knife. It does as much damage as your normal sword anyway, so there's no reason to stab people with it. So, once you've battled through the relatively small army of guards that look a lot like the swordsmen from The Princess Bride, you face off against the Warden. Now this part's pretty annoying because they lock you in the same vertical axis as him, so that means you can't move up and down, only left and right. The reason why this is annoying is because in most beat 'em up games you want to attack an enemy at an angle, not just straight on ahead. Doing it that way is a surefire way to get your ass kicked. And this game is no exception. I mean, look at this. You can't even touch the guy. So at least I have a knife to throw at him. Oh, except look at that. He has a gun. That's great. Now I lost my knife and he has unlimited ammo. On your first time, you're probably going to die a couple times, but he's not impossible. And oh, look, he dropped a 1-up. Wait, what the... Okay, this is just great. So for the most part, you could just take your time and pick up the items as slowly as you want. But if you pick up the other 2 items before the 1-up, your guy just walks out the gate and skips over it. Why the hell would I want to skip over a 1-up? Ugh. So next time, just pick up the 1-up first. And hey, I actually unlocked a new move. That's pretty cool. Anyway, on to the next level. Now the guards are chasing us and we have to escape on a minecart. Sounds exciting. The treasure is at last ours. Set sail for Jamaica.
What?
Okay, so the level started, I hit a rock and died, and the game starts me over at the main menu. Great.
Oh my god, I remember now. This game has limited continues. You die a few times, and then you gotta start the whole thing over again. Okay, whatever, I'm gonna do this.
So in stage 2, you just got to avoid rocks and trees, but if you mess up even once, then you lose a life. And if you lose all your lives, then it's game over. Seems simple enough, but you can't control your speed, and you don't have enough time to see what's coming up ahead of you. The entire thing is based on memorization. I kept trying to see if there was any way you could tell what was coming up, but there just isn't. Wait a second, maybe you have to hit the enemies, and if you stay on those paths, you'll avoid the obstacles. Okay, going good. What the hell? I hit that guy. Oh, fat guys kill you. Okay. Yeah, you can't run into fat guys. They'll kill you. They're dangerous. This level's ruthless. Every time I feel like I'm starting to memorize it, I get a game over and then I gotta play through the first level again and then start all over. No. This sucks. You know, the messed up part is they just gave me a new move to use and I can't even use it. They could have put me in another level where I was, just doing a normal beat 'em up style again, then I could have tried the move out, but no, I gotta keep trying this minecart level that I just can't beat. Great.
I don't usually like using this stuff, but maybe there's a code to skip to stage 2 so I don't have to keep playing the first level over and over again. Okay, let's see what we got here. Start with half energy. Oh, that's a good cheat. Oh, start with 3/4 energy. Oh, that's a little better. Oh, no enemies or bosses are invisible. That's a good cheat. I wouldn't want invisible bosses or enemies, so I better... Yeah, these cheats suck. Looks like I'm on my own. I did it. I actually did. I don't think I ever beat this as a kid. Wow.
Now I can finally see more of the game. And look at that, the next level's a beat 'em up stage again. It's not amazing or anything, but it's actually enjoying to play through. I think it's kind of funny how they took the enemy's face and just pasted it on the health bar. In fact, what's on my health bar? What is that? So you just fight a bunch of enemies in the alleyway for a while, and then eventually you come across a bar. Go inside to see some more enemies. Oh, look at that, a gun! Awesome! Where was this in the first level? Doing good, doing good. Whoa.
What the hell is that?
It's been a long time coming, but it finally came.
That pirate is wasted. Look at him, he just keeps falling over every time I hit him. That's actually pretty funny. So at the end of the level you run into the main bad guy, I guess? He makes you fight 2 bosses at once. There's no way in hell I'm gonna lose now. I came way too far to die. I came a little close, but I got him. Okay, next level. Hey look, I unlocked another special move. I had completely forgotten about the first one. I guess I'll have to try them both off on the next level. If I can. God forbid it's another minecart chase. Okay, what are we doing here? Get off. Oh, okay. What?
Cutthroat Island. You know, it'd be at least a mediocre beat 'em up if it weren't for the lack of continues. I'm not sure what else to say. I guess I should have just left this repressed memory buried where it belonged. If you're into Super Nintendo games, please pass this one up. Do not get it. Okay? Don't. I need to play a good game. What do we got here? Super Mario. Yoshi's Island. Okay. What are we? I got a request the other day to review a game called Uniracers for the Super Nintendo. I've never heard of that game before, so I thought, sure, why not? Let's check it out.
Admittedly, I don't play racing games very often. In fact, with the exception of the F-Zero series and maybe the occasional game of Mario Kart, I'm not really a fan that much. But Uniracers definitely showed me a fresh and fun approach to the genre. So how does the game work exactly? Well, the gameplay consists of you controlling a unicycle that races another through various courses. 3 variations in all: a straight race, a lapped race, and a trick event. The animation and speed in this game is quite impressive. I mean, seriously, check this out. This makes me question the whole blast processing thing that Sega was constantly boasting about in contrast to the Super Nintendo. And let's not forget the music. Man, listen to that. The controls feel fine, although it may take a while to get used to what everything does. Simply pressing the D-pad in the direction you want to go will accelerate. You can use Y to brake and B to jump. Once in the air, you can use the shoulder buttons to perform either a roll or a flip, depending on what direction you're facing. The A button makes you do a twist, and the X button makes you do what the game calls a Z flip. Uniracers has 8 tours, 4 of which need to be unlocked, all with cute names like Crawler and Shuffler. And each tour has 5 tracks. Your first time through each track, you're racing for the bronze medal, or more specifically, you're racing against another unicycle named Bronson. Get it? Bronson? Bronze? Anyway, once you beat all the tracks in the tour, you'll be able to race the tracks again against a harder opponent, this time named Sylvia, so on and so forth. The gameplay, once you get used to it, is pretty fun. You may be asking the point to doing all these tricks in a game where you're just trying to win a race, but the cool thing is that with this particular racing game, performing tricks actually makes you go faster. And like I mentioned before, there are actually certain tracks where you're trying to get a high score instead of actually racing, such as the bowl track. One thing I like about this game is that early on, when you first face a new obstacle, the game usually doesn't go too hard on you for screwing it up. Like here, the first time through you won't know that you're supposed to manually flip yourself over before you hit the ground. But it's okay, because neither does Bronson. He'll wipe out just as you will the first time. Of course, later on the game isn't as forgiving, and this is actually where some of the minor issues shine through. There will be times when you really mess up and there's no chance of you being able to catch up and win the race. You just want to restart as soon as possible. But that's when you'll find out that there isn't a restart option. You have to quit the race, go back into it, and then you can retry. I know it isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's a bit frustrating when you just want to get right back into a difficult race that you're trying to beat. Another small problem I found when first playing is that the options in the game are a bit vague. Like here, what does define player mean? Oh, it's a delete option. Well, why didn't they just call it delete player? Later on I tried to see what the league mode was all about. All the options say define me. I guess you have to make your own league before being able to play. Okay, fair enough. But after I did all of that and actually went into a league game, I quickly found out that it was just another multiplayer mode. This normally wouldn't be an issue, but this is the one time in the game that you can't quit a race. So I'm just stuck here since I don't have a second controller plugged in to finish the race. And I have to get up and restart the Super Nintendo manually. So if you somehow manage to get all the medals in every single tour, then you unlock a secret final one, Hunter. Here you have to race against the trickiest Uniracer of all, the Anti-Uni. This guy is an asshole. Every time you even try to pass him up, he pulls some trick out on you. These tricks include flipping the screen upside down, reversing your controls, barf mode, which makes the background fly in all sorts of directions in an attempt to make you sick, making the track invisible, and hedgehog mode, which slows everything down. That's pretty funny. I guess this game really liked taking jabs at Sega. Because another thing is, if you try to rename one of the racers Sonic, it tells you that the name is not cool enough. So, if you somehow manage to beat the Anti-Uni in the most difficult tour of all, then you actually get a funny ending screen. Amazing! New Uni wins despite dirty tactics. Anti-Uni in custody. That's actually pretty funny. Alien found in bath. What?
Is that a reference to something? I don't get it.
And then we see one of the most disturbing end credit scenes of all time. Ugh. What am I even looking at? I guess this game was designed by spandex wearing gnomes. So before we close, I thought I'd share a fun fact. So DMA Design, the company that developed Uniracers, was actually sued by Pixar after the game's release. This was under the grounds that Uniracers apparently copied the design and concept from Pixar's 1987 short film Red's Dream. Because, you know, Pixar invented the unicycle. DMA Design ended up losing the lawsuit, and as such, Nintendo stopped production of the Uniracers game. Don't feel too bad though, because DMA Design would eventually go on to become the company known as Rockstar North, most known for its extremely successful Grand Theft Auto series, among other popular titles.
So, Uniracers. It's got a few minor flaws, mainly its need for a more user-friendly interface, but besides that, it's pretty fun and quirky. For a game where you play as lifeless objects, it's actually got a lot of character to it. I say give it a try. This is why I don't go outside. Okay, I need to play something that'll cool me off. Oh. Yeah. Sub-Zero. This looks cool. Okay. Put it in the old 64.
Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero Mythologies. God, am I really playing this game? I remember this causing me some real grief as a kid. But I guess I'll play anything that'll help me get my mind off this heat. Okay, so one thing you gotta remember to do before even starting the game is to increase your lives and continues. I have no idea why they even start you off without the maximum amount you're allowed to have. All it really does is give you a false sense of difficulty, and it pisses you off that you don't get more chances to beat a level. So the game opens up with Sub-Zero breaking into a Shaolin temple to steal the sacred map of elements. Scorpion gives you some encouraging words.
You will fail.
And then the game starts. You have all the basic Mortal Kombat moves, but right away you'll notice just how awkward the controls are. You know, when I look back to the original Mortal Kombat arcade games, the jumping and fighting feels a bit stiff, especially when compared to other games from the same genre like Street Fighter. Now, I'm not trying to knock Mortal Kombat. As a fighting game, it works out just fine. But this game is attempting to be a side-scrolling platformer beat-em-up thing. It just doesn't work. The weirdest part is probably that you have to press B to turn. It's definitely counterintuitive and will confuse you throughout the game, especially when you're in the middle of a fight. Can you imagine having to press B to turn in a platforming game like Super Mario World? Or a beat-em-up game like Double Dragon? But hey, you can press B real fast to make him dance. That's neat. So the enemies you encounter in this game are pretty basic. Generic monks that will either stand still and let you beat them up, or will counter your moves perfectly. You know, however they happen to be feeling at the moment. You also have environmental hazards, such as these crusher things. They're motion activated, but not for the monks for whatever reason, and they will kill you instantly if you let them. As you play through the level, you get experience points for beating up enemies, which in turn leads to unlocking special moves. That's right, Sub-Zero has to unlock his freeze ability. You also get items, some of which you can mix together for a greater effect. So, after walking right for a while, you come to a dead end. Guess there's nowhere to go but down. Well, it led to a new area, but also got me killed. Oh, I see. You gotta jump down in a particular way. Yeah, totally self-explanatory. Guess I gotta go up here now. Man, this is taking forever. When am I gonna... Oh, dead end. Nice. And I can't jump down or else I'll die. Well, so you just keep walking to the left until you run into your old pal Scorpion. Wow, this almost feels like I'm actually playing Mortal Kombat. The fight isn't too difficult, just use your freeze-a-lot and you're good. I wonder if I can... Yeah, alright. Well, the animation was sort of terrible, but it's still pretty cool that you could do it at all. Sub-Zero picks up the map, and... now the damn thing opens up. So finally, we make our escape. Whoa, look at that animation. Good stuff. At this point, I should mention that the game gives you the option to save every mission. But guess what? It's one of those N64 games that saves to a memory card instead of the cartridge itself. I actually have a memory card, but the damn thing doesn't want to work. So I have to use the passwords that they give you. That doesn't seem too bad, but the problem is that every time you use a password to get back to where you were, your experience points are reset back to less than what you had. So anyway, Sub-Zero takes the map back to the Lin Kuei Grand Master and discovers that he was actually given the job by the sorcerer Quan Chi. He also finds out that Quan Chi tipped off Scorpion that Sub-Zero was gonna be there. What's the logic in that? I guess he wanted to sabotage his own plan? Anyway, Quan Chi sends Sub-Zero on another mission, this time to defeat the 4 elements so he can obtain some amulet or something. Oh great, maybe Quan Chi will send Reptile this time to screw up his own plans. So the first element you have to deal with is wind, in one of the most annoying levels in video game history. The enemies aren't new, the same monks from earlier, but it's the stage hazards that really suck here. Whether it's jumping on Reese's Pieces cups, or trying to land on these stone swings that you have to time perfectly, you're gonna hate this stage. There's also these parts where you have to wait for wind to appear so it can float you to the next platform. Sometimes it never seems to want to appear. Other times it's there, but it's invisible? What? There's also this part where you need to get this guy to stand on this button, I guess, to hold the door open so you can grab these golden booty shorts. I don't know. The first time worked fine, but later when I had to come back to this part after getting a game over, it gave me trouble. Oh come on, I fell an inch too high and I died. So if you manage to get through this level without breaking the cartridge, you finally come up against the elemental wind god. It's kinda cool seeing Fujin in another game, even if he looks nothing like he did in Mortal Kombat 4. So this fight is pretty bad. Fujin likes to fly away from you so you can't hit him, and he has this annoying tornado move. Also, sometimes he lifts you up in the air and throws you off the stage. You only get a few tries before you have to start the level over, so be careful. Stay away from the edges and try to freeze him when you can. Oh hey, I unlocked a move so I can freeze at an angle. This'll be helpful. Oh, no, he just blocks it. So it isn't really the boss fight itself that's that bad. After a few tries you should have it down pretty well. It's what happens after you beat him. You see, Fujin is a sore loser, so after he runs out of health, he makes this giant tornado that sucks you in and kills you instantly. I remember doing this as a kid, and you just have to run at the exact right time and distance to survive. If you wait too long, you get sucked in. If you go too fast, then you run off the stage. Sounds fun, right? Well, it isn't. But after about 100 tries, I finally discovered something. All these years I'd been doing it wrong. You're supposed to go to the edge and hold down. Sub-Zero will hang on to the stage, stopping himself from being sucked in. This doesn't happen any other time in the game. There's nothing to indicate to do this. How the hell would I know? You don't even really get to see Fujin explode like if you had just ran away at just the right time. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, next level. So now we have the... Okay, wow. Jeez, game, give me a second to breathe. Anyway, now we're on to the Earth element. Once again, the enemies are mostly the same monks from previous levels. They're not really trying to change things up here. While the level hazards here are at least not quite as annoying as the wind level. Mostly. The swinging blades are kind of a pain, but you just have to be patient and avoid them. These crusher things are the same. They can kill you in one hit, but they're easy to avoid. The only stage hazard that's really that dangerous is when the ground opens up randomly, making you fall on a spike. Or sometimes it leads to items? Kinda stupid since it's just trial and error. Why would I even risk it? Oh, what's down here? Oh. Dead end. Again. And this game sure likes doing that. Except, how do I get out? Am I stuck? Oh, great. They killed me. Well, that'll teach me to explore. It's like this whole game is designed to make you die a bunch of times before you even know what you're doing. Ugh, if I had forgotten to increase my continues earlier, this would suck even more. So this level is pretty much just a maze. You just gotta search around until you eventually figure out where you're going. At least it's a little easier than the wind stage. Whoa, okay, levitating monk. That's new. And here we come up against the elemental earth boss, this giant rock monster. You can try alternating from jumping attacks to body attacks, which seems to work, but believe me, it's a waste of time and you won't get anywhere. What you gotta do is sneak underneath them with your special slide move, then you activate this switch at the end of the stage so that this platform falls on him to deal some good damage. But sometimes you're gonna miss because you can't see if the damn thing is underneath it until you've already pulled the lever. It's like a guessing game. After you beat the boss, you're still not done. You gotta find the exit. Why? I just beat the boss. This is the only elemental temple where you have to find the exit after beating the boss. It just wastes more of your time. Especially if you die and you have to do the damn thing all over again, which has happened to me. Okay, so after all that, we have the water level. You know, it's well known that water levels tend to be the most annoying levels in just about any video game in which they're featured. You don't suppose that... Yep, no exception here. Remember when I said that the earth level was kind of like a maze? Well, the water level's the same way, except you have to slowly navigate the thing by climbing up and down ropes. Just climbing up and down and up and... Oh, fell in water. And then down. Oh, look, some monks. Oh, I don't have that key yet, just I guess I gotta go back and look for it. And down. And it isn't even that difficult really. The enemies are the exact same as before except for some eels that you just have to avoid. The whole thing is just a waiting game. I mean, look at this part. You're literally standing on this floating thing waiting for it to take you to where you need to go, and as if to rub it in that you're waiting so long already, it actually takes you to the right first when your destination is at the left. Sometimes you want to hurry up and proceed further, but it just ends up costing you a life and making you have to restart. Okay, I found a key. Now let's see if I can open this door. And... are you serious? Wow, great. Gotta start all over again. I guess I should have read the description of this key. My bad. Okay, no, slide. Ugh, damn it. Okay, I got it this time. Come on. Whew, okay. Now I just gotta wait for this platform to come. Ah, asshole. Damn, I missed it. Okay, just a little... Ah, stop. Seriously? Okay, gotcha. Try to sneak up on me. God damn. So if you somehow have the patience to deal with this level, then you'll eventually reach the water boss. There isn't anything too special to note here, except that you can actually freeze him since he's water. Well, sometimes. So finally, we're on to the final elemental level, fire. Man, I bet you can only guess what challenging stuff we have to deal with after those last few levels, right? Well, actually, this is the easiest and shortest level of them all. Yeah, seriously. I actually beat this level without dying once on my first try. Every other level I had to continue multiple times just to get through. Yet, this was the one that they saved for last? Is this some kind of joke? What the level calls hazards are merely fiery floors that barely do any damage, and these hole-in-the-walls that shoot pathetic hot bursts of air at you. It's a real downgrade from all the instant death stage hazards previously encountered up until this point. What happened? Oh, but there's some different enemies this time. Sorta. Along with the monks, we now have big monks and fast monks. Whoopee. After you get through this cakewalk, you come up against the elemental fire boss. I actually like his design. It's kind of like a fiery Raiden. You can't freeze him, obviously, but at this point you've probably stocked up on so many items that it's impossible for you to lose to him. After the battle, Sub-Zero goes to retrieve that amulet for Quan Chi, except he's already there. Okay. Quan Chi tells him that the amulet belongs to Shinnok and claims that he'll soon destroy the Earth Realm. He disappears and then Raiden appears right after. Great timing. Raiden, spelled Raiden for copyright reasons? I don't know. Anyway, Raiden tells Sub-Zero that it's up to him to go save the Earth or something, and sends him to the Nether Realm to go after the amulet. Oh great, this game isn't over yet. Oh, awesome. Finally, there's different enemies to deal with. Oh crap, they're actually really difficult to get past. Like, really, they're a pain in the ass. Once again, you gotta take things slow and attack strategically, or at least as strategically as this game will let you. Ah, this must be the mini-boss. Jeez, the continue screen's so abrupt. I mean, can you at least wait until Sub-Zero's body hits the ground first? Hey, I got a new move. With 2 freezes, I can kill enemies instantly. Except the first guy I try it on. Yeah, he'll just respawn. You just gotta do everything the long way with this game, I guess. Fun stuff. Okay, this next thing you gotta do is just annoying. You have to get these card keys to progress, but after finding one, I had no idea how to use them. I didn't know if I wasn't hitting the right button, or if I was missing some other item, or what. I literally tried for almost an hour until I finally decided to just look it up. And guess what? No, seriously. I want you to guess what you have to press to get the elevators to work. You're not gonna get it right. Okay, did you guess? Okay, it's A and high kick. Yeah, A and high kick. You literally cannot press these 2 buttons at the same time with just your thumb. Look, I got big thumbs. I can't even do it. Why? Why the hell would it be those 2 particular buttons? Why not just A to activate like every other thing in the damn game? I actually almost quit right here because of this, but you know what? I'm actually going to try to beat this game. So you use the elevator keys to progress through the level, nothing else really complicated. Oh, except this crap. Yeah, giant death robot, no biggie. It's pretty much the exact same fight as the Earth boss, except no way to deal any extra damage. So once again, you just gotta take your time and slowly whittle down his health. So after you beat him, you come up against this giant statue. At first I assumed you just had to keep hitting it to knock it over. So I tried it again. And again. And again. But that didn't work. Turns out you have to go back and find this strength potion so you can have enough power to knock the thing over. Retracing my steps in a game that's already monotonous? Wow, how fun. So after all that, you're on a bridge that finally leads to Shinnok's tower and the end of the game. Ugh, almost there. There isn't really much of anything here, just blank, empty platforms. So you just run around, seeing nothing. You just jump down, just running, going, jumping down, so on. Just going. Oh, dinosaur. Fire-breathing dinosaur. Oh, okay. Yeah. Should I really be surprised at this point? Well, I'm assuming that this thing is the boss because it's the hardest thing you've faced in the game so far. Like, really. Your attacks hardly do anything and it kills you in a few moves. On top of that, it's almost impossible to dodge. Man, I'm out of items. Okay, I think I got a pattern. It's just gonna take a little while. Just a little more. Almost. Oh, no. No. You know, I really wanted to like this game. I wanted to end this review on a fun fact about how Mortal Kombat creators Ed Boon and John Tobias took their last names and put them in reverse to name the character Noob Saibot. But now I don't even feel like it. In fact, it was John Tobias' idea to branch out and make this awful game. So I don't even feel bad about how after he left the company that the name of the character was just shortened to Noob. Nope, now I can't even share this fun fact because this game was so bad.
You know, I really wanted to play through this game. I really did. I did it before when I was younger, but now I guess I just don't have the patience. Or maybe I just don't have the time. You know, when I was a kid, I could just sit down and play games all day without a care in the world. Now I have really important stuff to do. Like review games. Yeah. You know, I could just use a code and skip to the last level of the game, but no. This game isn't worth it. I can't spend all my time on this one terrible game that I'm not even having fun playing when there's so much more to choose from. You know, it doesn't matter if you're in Southern California in the middle of July or if you're on the surface of the sun. When you're done playing this game, it just makes you feel cold and empty on the inside. I think I'd rather have a sunbird than play this game. Speaking of... Hey guys, welcome to another J Reviews. So today we got... It's August 8th already. You know what that means, right, Coco? Yeah, it means I've been reviewing games for 1 year. Man, I can't just do this simple game review, I gotta do something special. Got it. I should do a double feature review. Well, I was gonna review a space game already, so I guess I'll do another space game, so there's like a connecting theme. Let's see what we got. Cybernoid? I already reviewed this game. Besides, I don't think I'd ever want to play it again. Oh, Life Force, this is actually a really good game, but I think most people know that already, so it'd be kind of redundant if I were to review it. Destination Earthstar. Sounds interesting. Huh, we got ourselves a double feature. First up, we have Solar Jetman.
Oh wow, this is a Rare game, a company well known for making great games such as Killer Instinct, Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Country 2, and, Donkey Kong Country 3. Something interesting to note is that while the correct title of the game is Solar Jetman Hunt for the Golden Warp Ship, the box art actually misspells this as Solar Jetman Hunt for the Golden Warship. That's a pretty bad typo, man. I mean, what are we searching for here? A major advancement in science or a death machine? So I gotta say right away that the graphics are pretty good for NES. From the landing animation, to the in-game environment, and the spaceship itself. Ooh, look at it spin, it's like 3D. So anyway, the goal of the game is to collect fuel and any treasure that you find on these different planets you land on. Your end goal being to find all the parts to the golden warp ship mentioned in the title. The controls are basic, but it may take you a little while to get used to. You simply rotate the ship using the D-pad and press B for the gas. A is your weapon. The game has a unique feel to it that most space games lack, with the sense of gravity and inertia. You need to constantly jet yourself away from the ground or any objects that you may come in contact with. Controlling your ship becomes even more difficult when you're lifting an item. It may sound a little awkward at first, but it's actually really fun. Getting the controls down is a little tough, but satisfying. It's actually a little similar to the old Atari games Thrust and Gravitar. But Solar Jetman feels more fleshed out and contemporary. A good example of this is how in Solar Jetman you get upgrades as you go along, such as this shield.
Now this actually makes things a lot easier. You can be a bit more reckless with running into stuff. Only thing is, you can't pick up stuff while you're using it. So, besides gravity, other enemies you need to deal with are the shooter things that don't move much but can cause an issue with their projectiles. These annoying blue gravity balls that push you away from them, and these snake things. The cool part about this game is when you lose your ship, you don't lose a life right away. You're left with just your guy to defend himself. From there you can go back to your landing point and get your ship back without having to sacrifice a life. This, however, can be a bit of a pain when you're deep into a level and don't feel like turning back, especially when you've just found a new item. You can't pick up things without your ship though. So what you can do is die on purpose so you can respawn where you were with a new ship. So you have some options. Is this a portal? Whoa, I wonder where it's going to take me. Cool, a secret area. What the hell? I wasn't trying to go back. And it took me back to my landing point? That would have been helpful if I was done checking the area out. Let's try again. Okay, seriously? Ugh, that's a little bit annoying. Okay, here we go. So it looks like we've got a circus tent. Okay. Come on, you're coming with me. Oh, it's a piece of the golden warp ship. Right on. And look, a bonus stage. That's neat. Gotta get all the diamonds. So once you've gotten enough fuel, you're given the choice to either leave to the next level or keep exploring. I like that they give you that choice. On to the next level. Man, I'm really digging the art and animation in this game. So on some planets, like this one, the gravity is going to be a bit heavier, so I'm going to upgrade my engines. Jeez, it's a good thing I did because I can barely carry stuff on this planet. I wonder what's over here. Oh, damn! A big laser enemy. You just gotta get above him and got him. I like how when these snake things explode, they leave these trails of stars. This level is a lot more complex than the last one. A lot of tunnels and crap. Oh, is that water? Can you go underwater in this game? Oh, no, it's just cement water that you bounce off of, apparently. Sometimes you can use bouncing to your advantage in this game. Like right here. Gravity's pulling me down, and because it's high gravity, I won't be able to fly away from his blasts in time. So I'll just hit the ground hard and ha! What is this? I don't know, but I want it. Man, is it heavy though. Good thing there's another trick I know. What you want to do is hover in front of the item with your shield on, and then start flying away, turn your shield off very quickly, and pick the thing up with some momentum. Damn, this thing is really heavy though. I don't think this is gonna work. And I'm on my last ship now. Oh wait, is that an extra life? I can't really pick it up. Oh, you gotta get into it when you're outside of your ship. I guess that makes sense. Damn it, now I'm really screwed. I'm way too far from my landing point. I don't think I'll ever make it. Wait a second. Oh, this portal takes me to it. Sweet. And hey look, I found this thing that gives me an extra boost. Now I can finally go grab that thing. Come on, come on. Man, this thing better be worth it. Yeah, okay. So what is this thing? I have no idea what this does.
Well, that was sort of a waste of time. But hey, I found a treasure box. I wonder what's inside it. Easter Island Heads. I found Easter Island Heads on an alien planet. What?
I gotta say, the Solar Jetman game's actually really fun. I only picked it up for a few bucks too, so I recommend it. Next up, we have Destination Earthstar. Let's check it out. Hopefully this game will be as good as the last one. What's kind of weird is that the game goes straight from the menu to the game. There's like no real change or anything. There's a lot to take in right away. There's like all these numbers and crap, and there's like a graph up here. Like, what am I doing, geometry? Hey, I figured out how to shoot lasers at least. That's kind of fun, I guess. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just slowly floating through space. I mean, it takes forever to move even one box on this grid. Oh, I found a planet, I think, but I can't figure out how to land on it, or if I even can. I'm stumped. But I do have the manual. Let's see if we can't figure out what we're supposed to be doing. Ah, okay, here's the controls. To change direction, press right or left on the control pad arrows until the cursor on the grid map is pointed in the direction you want it to 8. Beyond sublight 8, you'll be projected into hyperspace. See below. To speed up, hold up on the B button and press up control pad arrow. You'll select a new weapon, press the start button to cycle through all available weapons. To enter hyperspace, hold down on the B button and press the up control pad arrow until you reach sublight 8. Then press the up control pad arrow again. To bring up or remove grid map, hold down on the B button and press the start button. The game always begins with the grid map on the screen. To fire selected weapon, press the A button. Note, if you hit the enemy, his ship will fly. To view weapon inventory, press the select button. Press select again. To change your view, hold down on the B button and press. Now you have 4 views to choose from. Forward, 4, right, to land on a planet, base, or armory, enter a B or A to locate your target. Then approach it by reducing speed to sublight 1 or 2 by holding down the B button, pressing down to turn the music on or off, pause twice. Note, for more details, see Successful Landings, page 15. God, it's like you're actually piloting a spaceship here. Okay, I'll try again.
Okay, now I know that holding up on the D-pad and pressing B increases your speed. And if you do it fast enough, you actually go into light speed. Whoa. Oh, and remember how I was having trouble landing on that planet? Well, it turns out I was supposed to reduce my speed to sublight 1 or 2, which I guess is indicated by these blocks right here. Now I can finally see what's on this planet. Oh, it's uninhabited, so that was a waste of time. Cool. Whoa, enemy spaceships. Yeah, they're not that hard to deal with. Just follow your radar down here, use your lasers and missiles, and you should take them out no problem. I wonder what A is on this map grid here. Well, I guess I'll find out. Oh cool, it's an armory. I replenished all my weapons. Right on. I tried to go to this B planet, but it wouldn't let me land on it for some reason.
And I just noticed the game's music stopped playing for some reason. Maybe the game got sick of playing it.
I don't know. Just floating around and shooting enemies gets a little monotonous after a while, but after the last enemies are killed, an enemy base appears. Let's go check it out. Whoa, so the gameplay style changes entirely here, sort of resembling Life Force, but believe me, it plays nothing like it. Pushing right gives you this delayed acceleration, and pressing left puts you in a very slow reverse. It just feels clunky and weird, and it makes everything just hard to avoid. You can shoot from the front and the back, which seems cool in theory, but your back weapon isn't all that great. It really is hard to avoid dying here. Believe me, I love space shooter games. Hell, I even enjoy playing Silver Surfer, where you at least feel like you have full control. But this just sucks. I'm not even sure what I'm doing. Am I collecting Triforce nacho things, or am I just trying to survive? Well, there goes my last life. And the game over scrolls in just to make sure I know. How nice. This game is sort of a neat idea with its varying styles of gameplay, but it feels sloppy. And I don't really like games that you can't just pick up and play. In fact, this one requires a huge list of instructions just to figure out what you're doing. It's not really my cup of tea.
Well, that's it. Man, can't believe it's been a year already. Well, thanks for watching my videos, the 3 of you that watch my stuff, talking to you, Roy. But yeah, I really appreciate it. These videos take a lot of time and effort to make, so I appreciate any views or comments that I get. So thanks again. Look forward to more coming soon. Yeah, that's right. It's Halloween again. Ooh, which explains why I'm dressed up as a thing. It also explains the terrible lighting. Ooh, lighting. Anyway, I thought I'd review another Halloween-based game like I did last year. So what I got for you today? Uninvited for the NES. Now this is actually one of the more uncommon NES games. You wouldn't just see it anywhere. It's no Secret Scout or Flintstone Surprise at Dinosaur Peak or anything like that, but you'd have to drop at least 20 or 30 bucks to find it on somewhere like eBay, for instance. I was actually lucky enough to find it at a swap meet. Or if you're living on the East Coast, you might call it a flea market. Or if you're living in the UK, you might call it a boot sale. Huh. Well, anyway, let's get straight into this classic horror game, Uninvited. Uninvited is a point-and-click horror game that was originally released for the Macintosh in 1986. It featured black and white visuals. The version I'm reviewing, however, is a port that was released for the NES in 1991, presented in glorious 8-bit color. So the game begins with your character waking up in his recently crashed car, complete with carnival-sounding music. Look out! Why does it say look out? The car's already been crashed. Maybe he's afraid the steering wheel's gonna come alive and eat him or something? I don't know. Oh, and apparently his sister left him to go find help. The smell of gasoline filling the air, probably from a punctured gas tank. Well, gee, thanks sis. Just leave me in here to suffocate on gas fumes. So anyway, if I've learned anything from my poor point-and-click playing skills, it's that you need to examine everything in order to win. And I do mean everything. So let's see what we have to examine here. There's the steering wheel, the mirror, the speedometer, and the car door. Not a lot to work with. Well, let's see if... What's that? What? Okay, so if you take too long, the car explodes apparently. So I guess that makes all that point-and-click advice I gave earlier useless. Okay, whatever. This time I'm just gonna try to open the car door. Ah, what a surprise. It worked. So the car explodes and the character reacts saying, "At least it'll save me the cost of a tow." Wow, this is like the most optimistic guy in the history of video games. So if he finds his sister dead, is he just gonna be like, "Ah well, one less mouth to feed"? So anyway, you wanna know the trick to opening the mansion's front door? Well, you just open up that mailbox over there and take what's inside. Sure, you find a letter and a pendant. Just take it and the front door opens. How convenient. Could your sister be in there? Well, I don't know how she could be since she never opened up the mailbox, but I mean, what do I know? The first room of the mansion is a foyer, which the character describes as large and luxurious. Really? 'Cause for a mansion, this room looks pretty small to me. Alright, here's where I should point out some of the game's mechanics. So, if you've played a point-and-click game before, you probably know that it's required that you click on doors to move from room to room. But one thing I actually like about this game in particular is that you get a little map in the corner of the screen that you can click on to change rooms a bit more quickly. There doesn't seem to be much going on here, so let's move on. So now we come up to an empty hallway with more doors. So I guess... hang on, who's this? Looks like a Southern Belle. And just listen to that happy, upbeat music. Maybe she knows where the sister is. Ugh. Whoa, okay. Did she just... yeah, she killed me. Cool. Guess I won't be going that way then. Now, one thing that really bugs me about this game is that there's all these different items you come across. Most of them useless, yet it lets you pick every single one of them up. So... I'm not trying to miss anything, but in the process I'm picking up all this useless crap that's just taking up space in my inventory. Usually in games like this, if the game lets you pick something up, then it's required for beating the game. So there's another basic rule that this game's breaking. Like right here. Am I gonna need this bowl? Am I gonna bake this ghost a cake to make it go away? I don't know. Oh, a can of no ghost. Yeah, that's something you see every day. No ghost! Never leave home without it! So now that I'm prepared, let's take out this ghost. Nothing comes out. You didn't open the bottle. Really? Really? Come on, game, that's just ridiculous. You know what I wanted to do. Okay, so this time I remember to open the bottle first, and yeah, finally. Yeah, that's right, you better melt. And if you think that's the only time that this game is picky about you not doing something precisely right, then you're wrong. Every single door in this game has to be open before you can go through it. Like, it actually tells you that you have to open it first if you try. Come on, game. What did you think I was gonna do, just try to ram my head into the door until I got through? Of course I want it opened. And just look at all these doors. They might as well just call this game Door Open Simulator 2000. Oh look, I found a ruby. This has to be useful, right? Well, it isn't. Not only is this ruby completely unnecessary for completing the game, it will actually kill you if you have it in your inventory for too long. What is this, some kind of sick joke? Being cryptic is bad enough, but at least understandable. This is just plain sadistic. I don't have much else to say about this game. throughout you'll encounter hellhounds, zombies, more ghosts, and brown floaty monster things. It's kind of interesting, but I don't usually have the patience for these kinds of games. Some of the best NES games out there feel timeless, and will always be fun, but I think this one falls in the dated category. Maybe you point and click fanatics out there will like it more than I did. So yeah, it's not exactly the funnest game for me personally, but hey, at least it's something cool to have as a collectible. Well, that's it for this year's Halloween special. I hope you guys looked. Hey guys, welcome back to J Reviews. You know, I think it's safe to say that back in the NES days, fantasy games were the big thing that all the kids were into.
Sure, a plumber turned hero, a kid in a green outfit exploring deadly dungeons. It was all over the place.
Of course, nowadays, it seems like kids are more into military-style shooter games with their Call of Duty and Counter-Strike. But you know what? The NES had its fair share of army games as well. So I've got my camo hat, and I've got my MRE. And I've got a handful of them right here just to show you. First up, we have Gary Kitchen's Battle Tank.
Huh. I don't know who this Gary Kitchen fellow is, but he must have been pretty proud of this game to put his name in the title. So the game's opening theme sounds like it's actually preparing you for war. It fits well with the visuals of the Sea of Tanks. Yep, this is definitely an army game. Okay, so what's our mission? Attack and destroy enemy resistance. Good luck. Okay. So the gameplay involves a first-person perspective from the inside of a tank on a deserty landscape. And I gotta say, the sounds of the tank is sort of grating on the ears. I wish they could have just had some music playing. So anyway, you use A to drive and B to shoot missiles, I think. So you just go around looking for other tanks to shoot at and... why did I stop? Did I pause the game?
Nothing's working. Is it frozen?
Ah, okay. So pressing A and B at the same time pauses the game. That's not really a great idea, considering you're going to be pressing those two buttons a lot. Kind of a weird design choice. So whatever. You gotta shoot these other tanks, which don't seem to be appearing anywhere on your radar. So if you press start, you get this map screen where you can find the enemy tanks. And see your guy moving on the screen there? Yeah, it's actually going that fast. This is sort of like a fast travel mode. Yep, before Fallout and Elder Scrolls, we had fast travel in Gary Kitchen's Battle Tank. So anyway, you're just trying to destroy these enemies, which always seem to quickly zip away just as you're about to approach them. Whoa. I mean, look at these things. They're like tanks on crack. Ugh. Eventually you can catch up with these suckers and destroy them, completing the mission. So, what are you gonna do in Mission 2? Well, destroy more tanks, of course. And even on a grassy location this time. How neat. Oh, and you get to destroy an enemy fuel tank, which I guess would be a nice change of pace, but it's pretty much just the same thing as hitting an enemy that isn't moving. Okay, next game.
Next, we have Cobra Command.
Now don't get too excited. As far as I know, this has nothing to do with the G.I. Joe villain. This time, our mission is not only to destroy enemy strongholds, but to rescue some hostages as well. So you play using a helicopter. Pressing forward aims your sights down, and pressing back aims them up. So you'll have to keep this in mind when trying to hit enemies. It's a little awkward at first, but not too bad. It only takes a few hits from enemies to send your helicopter crashing. This is actually a little annoying because sometimes you won't just die immediately. Your copter will catch on fire, and you get a few seconds of a futile attempt to keep going. I guess it's kinda cool for the realism aspect, but it sorta just wastes your time. Also, the enemy vehicles and enemy soldiers have the same explosion animation, which is a little odd. So anyway, I'm just shooting soldiers and rescuing people. Everything's going pretty fine so far. Then you come up to these annoying missiles. So here's where I have to mention the terrible way this game deals with scrolling. Instead of just scrolling gradually as you move across the screen, the game waits for you to get about halfway across and then it pushes you back to the left again. This might just seem like a minor annoyance and not a real problem, but believe me, it is. When you get up to the missiles, you really need to get the timing down just right so you don't get hit. Just one of these things will take you down. Getting past the first one is usually no problem, but look what happens when you try to get past the second.
Look at that. The damn screen pushes you back as you're trying to rush forward, positioning you right into the path of the missile. This is just ridiculous. It's hard enough trying to deal with additional enemies, this just ruins the entire game for me. And according to Wikipedia, the original arcade version of the game didn't have this problem, so maybe I should just play that instead. Well, with the right maneuvering you can get past the missile, but yeah, when you run out of lives you gotta start the game all over again anyway. Great. Next game. Next up we have Stealth ATF. Okay, so I know this is more of an Air Force game than an Army game, but come on, when am I ever going to review this? And hey, the opening theme actually sounds pretty cool. It's a nice tune. Wait a second, is that Gary Kitchen? The same guy that made Battletank? And how do you direct a video game anyway? Huh, I guess this guy was really into military games, like some discount Tom Clancy. But wait. Actually, I think I've seen this guy's name in another game before. Yeah, he was in A Boy and His Blob. Who is this guy? Well anyway, let's get back into this game. So we've already piloted a tank and a helicopter. Why not an airplane now? We just gotta take off first. However you're supposed to do that. So I'm sort of just rocking the D-pad in a few different directions. Okay, I'm getting this thing off the ground, and... well, okay, let's try this again. Steady, steady... okay, cool. We're flying. So yeah, immediately going into this, we're gonna make some connections to Top Gun. But you know what? I think I might actually like this better. For one, we actually have music, which is nice. And look, in this game you can do a backwards loop. Whee! The environment is alright for what it is, although it can be a bit tiring to look at after a while. I do have to add that the enemies can be a bit difficult to hit. It's actually sort of similar to the enemies in Battletank, except with airplanes. So yeah, maybe I just suck at this, I don't know, but it took me a while to destroy all the enemies on the first level. After that you have to land the plane. Oh. So I figure you just gotta gently put it down, carefully... no, that didn't work. Oh, and if you don't land it right, then you gotta do the mission another time to get another chance at landing. Okay, let's try this again. Maybe I just gotta level it out just right. Okay. The next mission is more of the same, except this time we got a nice grassy background. Kind of a small variation of level design with these games. I mean, it's always either a desert or grass. Well, to be fair, I'm only playing the first couple of levels, but that's just because they get kind of boring for me after a while. Well, at least we could try to crash the plane and see what that looks like. Ooh, that's pretty cool. And last, but hopefully not least, Platoon. So after playing military games involving tanks, helicopters, and airplanes, Platoon finally puts us in the shoes of a lone soldier. Entering the combat zone. Yeah, we sure are. The game immediately drops you off in the middle of a jungle, full of enemy soldiers. Luckily you're equipped with a gun, grenades, and your trusty moon boots. Sure, moon boots, you know, the kind that lets you jump over enemy bullets. Yeah, every soldier needs a pair of these. As you may have noticed, the game's status screen gives you very vague information, like, it tells you how many times you've been hit instead of just giving you a proper health bar. I think you could take up to 3 hits without dying, since it says your history after the 4th hit. And when that happens, your status changes from 001 to 002, which I guess indicates your lives? Does that mean you have 100 lives? I don't know. Oh, and along with that, I have no idea what morale is supposed to indicate. Well, I guess we could just ignore the status screen and focus on the game itself. But even that is pretty vague. You just march around the jungle running into enemies left and right, following paths to what seem like constant dead ends, and all the while listening to this bizarre music that just seems to start and stop or make spontaneous long notes whenever it feels like it. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I don't think you're supposed to kill all the enemies because they seem to just keep respawning. What do I do? Wait a second.
I found the explosives. Of course, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with them since everywhere I go is just more jungle, but it's a start, I guess. So if you wander around long enough and get really lucky, you'll eventually come up to a bridge. So the game wants me to set the explosives here, I guess. So after you blow up the bridge, for whatever reason, you come up on what I think is a village. Oh, and make sure not to shoot the villagers. You know, the ones that just run right up to you recklessly, because that's what I'd do if I saw an armed soldier. I'd just run right towards them. So I think you have to search the huts for something. For what, I'm not sure. I'm mainly just running into sacks of flour, pots of water, and rubbish. Oh, and some booby traps here and there that give no indication that they're different from the other useless items you run into. Oh wait, I found a map to a tunnel system. Maybe I'm getting somewhere after all. Nope. Game over. Guess I didn't have 100 lives after all. Yeah, that was, huh.
You know, I have to admit, these games range from not so good to not so great. I'm a little disappointed. Well, at least I still have my MRE. I hope it's not expired. Hey guys, Merry Holidays and Happy Christmas. Anyway, I wanted to do a Christmas themed game today, but I couldn't really think of what to review. Wait a second. What's that? Looks like someone left a gift. Well, let's see what's inside. Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday. Well, I think that's just vague enough to be a themed review. Okay, let's do it.
So, Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday. The title screen is happy enough, but then it gets a little spooky. The opening cutscene shows Porky in bed looking over some holiday brochures before drifting off to sleep. The visuals are actually pretty impressive for Super Nintendo. The game starts you off immediately outside of Porky's house with very creepy music playing. I have to point out Porky's idle animations. He makes the most ridiculous movements and sounds. Half of the time he looks really pissed off. You know, in most games you need to wait a while until your character starts his idle animations, but in this one, it takes less than a second. Wow. So anyway, you just head off to the right towards the Haunted Woods. Ugh.
Oh god, look at those trees. Maybe this should have been a Halloween review.
So yeah, the game is your basic platformer. There isn't any button to run faster, Porky just walks at a casual pace. You can get this throwing item occasionally, but you're hardly ever going to run into it. You mostly just have to rely on your jumping. The first level is pretty basic, avoiding bats, wrecking balls, spikes, and leprechauns. Yeah, this might seem really out of place to a lot of people, but the leprechauns are actually from an old Looney Tunes episode called Wearing of the Grin, where Porky gets caught in a storm in Ireland and has to spend the night at a cat... Well, no, it still really doesn't make much sense that they're here, but Porky is supposed to be having a nightmare, so whatever. One thing I find really amusing is what happens when you lose a life. I mean, think of what sounds a character might make when they die in another game. In Super Mario 64, Mario lets out a tired sigh. In Metal Slug, your character screams in pain. And in Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday, he just goes meh and evaporates. I'm not sure why, but I find that really funny. So anyway,
Like I said, the first level is pretty easy. You swing across things, avoid hazards, your basic stuff. Although your character looks like he has this big annoying hitbox, it's actually pretty fair. In fact, you can actually bounce off of enemies from the side if you do it just right. Okay, here's these platforms. When you stand on them, Daffy Duck comes out and scares you, making you leap way up into the sky. Pretty funny. There's also some areas that have you climbing up or down this huge tree that rotates in 3D motion. It was always really cool to see stuff like this on the Super Nintendo back in the day. My only complaint is that sometimes you're not exactly sure where you're supposed to go. Yes, even with the arrows. But after a short while, you should find your way to the boss. A spooky ghost. You just gotta wait for him to take his top hat off, and then jump on his head. Easy stuff. The next level is Dry Gulch Town. It's pretty much just a ghost town. Enemies include prisoners carrying their own cages, sharp grass, and trains. The goal here is pretty simple, just walk to the right. Although you can also go down this well or up in the water tower to find some extra stuff. I'm not exactly sure what the cupcakes do, to be honest. Sometimes they give you health, I think, but the hearts are more reliable, and the 1-ups are always good. So anyway, just keep walking right until you come up to a hotel. Each floor leads you to another random door in the building. Just avoid the dogs and the moose heads that spit bullets, and you should make it to the exit no problem. This level's boss is Yosemite Sam, and probably the most original boss in the game. Instead of attacking him straight on, you need to wait for him to shoot at you. Then you jump on this seesaw so that the pan will fly up and deflect the bullets. Sam's looking a little bigger than usual. Ah, okay, I get it. So yeah, just time your jumps right and you should beat him without too much trouble. Next up, we have the Atlantis level. The first part, you just have to ride on this little makeshift boat while avoiding fish, birds, or falling into the ocean. Which sorta doesn't make sense because at the end of it, you just end up going underwater anyway. So yeah, it's a water level, so I'm gonna try to get through it as quickly as possible. There isn't a whole lot to say here, just look out for jellyfish and pufferfish and whatnot. One thing that is sorta interesting but also annoying are these bubbles. You need to use them to progress through the level, which is fine, but sometimes it's easier said than done. I never really thought of the controls being particularly bad as a kid, but as an adult it's a little more obvious that they're really not that tight. Sometimes you just fall off at things when you try jumping too close to the edge. But if you keep at it, you should eventually reach the surface and the boss. This time you gotta fight this dolphin jerk. It's basically the same fight as with the ghost on level 1, just switch sides to avoid the crabs and jump on him when he comes out of the water. Level 4 is the Abandoned Mines. It's probably the shortest level in the game. The only things really worth mentioning are probably the slime enemies and these boulders that Porky comedically tries to avoid by walking casually away from them. Oh, and the music on this level is Hall of the Mountain King, which is interesting. At the end of the level, you face off against a monstrous version of Tweety Bird. You just wait for him to fly out of the barrel and then jump on him. Probably the easiest boss, which for this game is actually pretty impressive. Level 5 is the Alps, and one of the weirdest levels in the game. That reminds me of the Monty Python foot. So yeah, at first it seems simple enough, snowman enemies and piranha jumping out of fishing holes, but then you see this. Like, damn, look at that spike. Is that not the most badass video game spike you've ever seen? But it really starts getting weird once you exit the snow portion of the level and enter... I'm not even really sure what to call it. There's chicken legs and dice, eyeballs, and carrots as platforms. The background has all kinds of weird crap going on. Oh, you know those platforms that you stand on and then Daffy will come out and scare you? Yeah, instead it's a horse head now. I remember always getting lost in this level as a kid, having no idea where to go, and often turning the game off after a while. But there's only one more level after this, so I'll keep going on. So if you manage to make it to the end of this level, you have to face off against the Abominable Snowman. Once again, the boss fight is pretty easy. So finally we've made it to the final level, the castle. Nice opening, it really sets the atmosphere. Except, what's that? A noose? Jeez man, this game is a lot darker than I remember. The outside of the castle is pretty simple, nothing that you haven't seen before. The inside is a little more complicated though. There's a lot of medieval style obstacles that you have to avoid. Oh, and these rocket things, I hate these enemies, probably my least favorite in the game. They always swoop down in just the right way to hit you. And you know how I said the hitbox was generous before? Well, not here. I'm not sure what they did, but I swear it's harder than usual to jump on these enemies without getting hurt. Some of the sections in the castle seem to just be a pool area, guarded by robots, of course. Normally I'd be confused, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised at this point. So if you manage to make it to the top of the castle, you get to battle the final boss of the game. A robot? Well, a robot controlled by Daffy Duck, or Count Duckula, or who knows. In this fight, you just have to jump onto Daffy to stop him from using the controls, then you jump on the robot. It's a pretty simple last boss fight, like all the other ones in the game. A little bit of a letdown. Well, at least at the end, Porky finally wakes up from his nightmare. I think? I don't know. What's going on? So yeah, it's your average platformer. As a kid, I used to play it all the time, but as an adult, it's a short, mediocre experience. One thing I should mention though is that the game had a built-in weather system type thing. Every time you put the cartridge in, each level would have an alternate background. This is a really cool feature that I can't recall being in any other SNES game I owned as a kid. I wonder what other games might have it. Okay, so Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday. It's okay. It's okay. As a kid, I remember playing this a lot, but it's just okay. The controls are decent, but sticky sometimes. The game itself is very short. You could probably beat it in about an hour on your first try. But it does have very impressive animation for Super Nintendo. It's really nice to look at. So there's that. You know, I'm still curious about who sent this to me in the first place. Maybe the box has something. From GK. Gary Kitchen.